ability now. I still think I have the ability now, but I don't know if I'll have it in 2 years.
But what's messing with your eyes? What causes?
It's all internal crap.
Yeah, but one of the causes of your vision is your diabetes.
Todd thinks he's getting away with something here. You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're live.
He's live. I know.
Everybody, welcome to the Nerd Den.
This is the opposite. For anybody out there watching, this is the opposite of what he normally does to me. I start talking and telling a story, and then he starts the live stream
with the intro.
Up.
And this time he skipped the intro, so we're still talking. Oh,
I'm trying to convince her to let me quit the day job so I can work on my stuff full time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little scared of that.
And you know what? Where you're at in your channel growth, you're close to the point to where you actually do need to do that to do a big push on your channel. You're getting close to that, actually.
Well, it's going to continue to grow. That's the plan.
Yeah.
You know?
See, KG liked it. He thought it was funny. That's what matters. That's what matters. What's up, guys?
Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi.
I am an open freaking book to everybody. You all know that. You all know that.
There is nothing. We hide. I think we hide nothing here. We're like my old age and my hemorrhoids and my
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be one of these days. I'm gonna tell you the story about the dangling poop.
No, I do not.
Whoa! We can leave out the stink nuggets.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
It's a funny story.
Over.
It's a funny story.
There's nothing. No,
there's nothing funny about that little dangler.
Yeah, well, it's what happened to it after it dangled.
No.
Oh God, Andrew.
He left.
Or did you kick him?
What? Oh, he's in the green. Look at this. Look at this.
Is he in the green room? Okay.
Yeah, of course he is. He was laughing.
Yeah, that was Dusty that did that.
That was me. You got put in timeout.
You need
to behave, sir.
Dusty doing his thing. I love it.
Todd, Avery.
Yes.
What's up, Galaxy? How are you?
I only hope that Dusty doesn't have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the live stream and leaves us alone for a minute and a half.
What's
Why?
that supposed to mean?
Because that's all I need.
That's what she said.
That's all I need to get you banned for life.
Oh,
a minute and a half, and I'll take you all down. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I know. Happy Friday, guys.
Oh, thank God.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the fact that this was a short work week, because Monday was a day off, or is the fact that I had 5 days off in a row. But this week was a killer.
Yeah,
I am so freaking tired. Ugh.
Why? Just working hard?
Yes, I'm always working hard. My whole life is working hard. Yes, you need to cover the Joker thing because I don't know. Have any idea what it is.
Oh God, the Mud Baby?
No.
The Mud Baby?
Yeah. Okay. Are we gonna? We'll talk about this later. We'll talk.
Avery, does this have anything to do with Lady Gaga in the Joker 2 movie?
I mean, it might, but it's not really.
No. It's a short backup story they put in some comic.
Well, don't spoil it, Avery. Don't spoil it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
No spoilers. It is legit a nightmare. Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us about it because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, you guys start shooting the shit, and I'll pull up the article.
Okay.
Isn't that what we've been doing for the last 4.5 minutes?
No, you were talking about actual shit.
You just have to be. I want to be.
And it wasn't shooting.
Yeah.
It wasn't shooting. It was stalactiting.
Oh. This is not. Thank you, Dusty.
We'll just keep.
I'm looking up an article, and I can't follow him.
probably easier if you look for it on Twitter first.
Probably.
Especially if you go to like Yellow Flash or somebody's.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back in, boss.
Ooh.
Are you really?
Hey, I'm here for the duration until Dusty kicks me out again.
You know. Self-control, Andrew. Self-control.
It's like the old rage quit bit I used to do on your channel.
Dusty is asking me to have self-control.
Yes.
Guys, he doesn't know us very well, does he?
Oof.
This is self-control. This is me being, you know,
Me not saying any gamer words.
I'm there in the green room after the shows. Yeah, this is pretty self-controlled.
Yeah. Oh man. So before we jump into Joker, like what have you been following any comics, Andrew? Is there anything happened at the comic shop? I mean, I know it's like the first week in January, so I can't imagine that there's like a lot of stuff going on, but
I did not make it to the store this week. Hell, I don't think I made it to the store last week either. But I can check it out and see what came out this week and see if there's anything worth mentioning.
yeah, go for it.
So, new comics this week. I am looking forward to getting a copy of Batman Spawn out of the like quarter bins because there's so many of those things out there right now.
Did you see did you guys see the new release that's coming out with Batman Spawn? They're coming out with a I don't know what they're calling it. It's like unplugged, where it's the inks. It's no colors. No colors.
Oh, okay. I want that. I actually
Now,
would want pay money for that.
I told you when it came out, the store had an entire row of variant covers, and then they had another row of more covers, and they had dozens and dozens and dozens of every copy.
Oh wow!
So
is that at Coliseum or Gotham?
Yes.
Coliseum.
Oh, I didn't even go to Gotham. You know, Gotham's probably got stacks and stacks of that crap.
Oh
so.
Man,
You know how crazy he is about that.
Yeah, and that's such a small store.
Oh, the new Scarlet Witch came out. The new series Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
Wow, I can't wait to not care.
Isn't that like Teenie Howard or something?
I don't know.
No, it's Steve Orlando with Sarah Pichelli on art.
Oh well, Sarah Pichelli she's a brilliant artist.
She's good. She's good.
Some of her stuff, her sequentials though.
Yeah, but she's a good artist. She's like a Terry Dodson, right? Like,
yeah,
he has the ability to draw as elegantly as Adam Hughes.
Wait, who did that Mother of Madness thing that Emily Clark put out? Who did that?
Oh, that wasn't her. That was I know what you're talking about, but I never picked up an issue.
Neither
I didn't
did
even
I.
look at
but
it.
The artist who did it is actually a decent artist. It's just that's not decent for them.
Oh, you know what? I did read an article about it. Was the Daily Beast did their most influential persons in comics for 2022. I didn't even know who these two people were until I read the article and found out that who they were and how vitally important they were to the comic book industry. Honestly, I forget their names, but one of them was the girl who wrote that graphic novel Queer whatever, the one that's being banned all over the place. The what? The Queer Queen or something. It's being banned from all like libraries and all. And
the one with like a dude, like it's got pornographic sex in it. That one.
Yeah, well, they say it doesn't. They say it doesn't, but that's the reason why it's being pulled from libraries.
But it's no. I've seen the pages. People have published it. It's like a dude blowing another dude.
Yeah, well.
All right, guys. That's what happens.
And it's a book they're trying to sell to kids. And I'm like, adults can buy whatever they like.
Yeah, and the Daily Beast picked them as the most influential people in comics of 2022.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oh hell! The 4th issue of Kaya came out from
share your
Image.
screen, dude, please.
No.
Give us some
Give you some visuals? Okay, I'll give you some visuals.
Oh, what I've been doing while you're doing that, what I've been doing basically since yesterday is I got really inspired by our lore games last night, and Dustin and I've just been working on the World Bible ever since. So, just
cool.
so many notes. We have like a ton of information on the world and everything that's going on, but we haven't really like put it together. So we're now putting it together, and last night kind of inspired that. So it's pretty awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go.
No, nobody cares about this stuff, Marvel and DC. But
I still don't understand that book Marauders, calling it Marauders.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'll never understand that. Why is there an X team using the name of one of their villains? Like, is there a reason?
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was about the Marauders.
No, it's an X team. It's a bunch of X-Men related.
Led by Kitty Pryde, and they're like pirates.
Do they talk about why they're? Yeah, my question exactly. Are they talking about why they're using the Marauders name?
Yeah, I've never picked up the issue. I have no idea. But this is a series from Image by Wes Craig. It's like a sci-fi fantasy book.
I like Wes Craig's art. Like
I do too. And that's one of the reasons why I picked up the first issue, and it was actually pretty good.
He reminds me of kind of like the next gen Tim Sale, a little bit.
Yeah, I like his art. I like his stories, and the first issue was really good. And I don't know how I missed issue 2 and 3, but I guess issue 4 came out this week. So, oh well, I guess I'll have some older issues to look forward to finding. I'm trying to see if there's anything in here that I've been picking up lately. Not really.
Are there any good books? Like I genuinely, I'm so deep in adult fantasy and what we're making. Like I don't really even think or look at like other things.
I don't either. I occasionally go, oh, I should probably back this campaign and catch something. Oh, Ethan's making chromium cards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I ordered them.
Oh wow, Rainbow the Brute
Mm-hmm.
was coming out this week. Really?
But it's not. He hasn't even drawn it yet.
No, it's just like scheduled.
Yeah.
Well, these are usually what gets shipped this week. So,
but Rainbow. For those that don't know, Rainbow Brute started as a parody to Rainbow Bright.
Yeah, the book's not. Ethan has not even drawn that comic yet.
Yeah,
I even backed it, I believe. And Ethan hasn't even drawn that comic. It's not coming out.
Yeah, yet. It's gonna be pretty awesome when it does come out.
Why would it be listed on this site then? This is a list of.
No.
Andrew,
let me log into Indiegogo and see.
Andrew, KG has a question for you.
Sure.
Drew, got a spare Spawn number 1 in your store? Looking for one at a decent price.
Nope, don't have a copy of Spawn number 1 in my store. Not currently.
Could you look out for one for him?
Oh yeah, of course.
So
I think the last time somebody brought some Spawns into my store, it was like issue 10 or 11 through like 30, and those sold pretty quickly.
There are a ton of them out there. So
oh yeah.
So Andrew? Can I put you on the spot and say like, hey KG, Andrew will keep an eye out, and if he finds one, we'll send it to you.
Sure, absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah. A lot of people are holding on to that one right now, even though it's pretty common and out there. Just simply because, well, there's another movie coming, or supposedly coming.
Supposedly,
so,
right?
Yeah. Supposedly it's in the works. So this is last week's comics. Just checking to see if there's anything I missed that I need to go buy and get. Nah, nothing yet.
Oh wow, October 2022 is the last Jawbreakers I backed. Still don't have it.
So So Andrew, you haven't picked up anything lately. Just, I mean, it's also like I know the timing is kind of bad because like time of year and all that kind of crap. Like, when do you start buying comics again? And like I know you're always buying comics, but when do you start going to like really into it?
Well, I tend to go to the store, to like the regular stores every week, just to see what came out. I haven't bought anything regularly in a while. I'll pick up something to give it a shot. And if it's something I want to stick around for, I will. But a lot of times, there's not a lot going on that interests me. I like the older stuff. I like hitting 50-cent bins and dollar comic sales and stuff like that, looking for older stuff. And actually, I'm going to a show, a small, it's not a small show, it's a pretty decent show, but it's a tent show this Sunday. And I usually find some good filler comics there. Cool. And then next Sunday, is the show in Deltona where hopefully I'll be able to meet up with Zach, because he may come over and we may hang out for a little bit. So
awesome. Hey, scroll up, go check out, click on Copra right there.
No, I hate Copra.
Copra's awesome. What are you talking
about?
How do you not like Copra?
No, it's not my thing.
Really?
Nope, never has been. I know you're a big fan of it, but nah, never floated my boat.
Hold on.
No.
Yeah, Rainbow Brute's delivery was December 21.
Oh, really?
And Ethan still hasn't drawn the book.
This is Copra.
Yes.
Right here. You see that? Copra. Look at this. So here's one of the. So I met this guy. I know. I've Michel Fife. I've talked to him a few times. Like, let me tell you what's so awesome about this. This book, it's a monthly book, or it used to be. I think it still does it kind of monthly. Monthly book, done 100% by one person.
Yep.
Which is like that means he writes it, he draws it, he colors it, he letters it, he does the preprint, he does the publishing, he gets it published, he sends it out to people, all in one 30-day period, and he's done it month after month for years. So like I mean, and the artwork is like very loose, as you know, it's very Frank Miller to me, man. Like modern Frank Miller, or Ronin Frank Miller. What is this? The last one is issues. What's this? Copra monthly, just Copra 1 through 6, but that's not actually it. Oh wait, that is it. That was the first book. Let me see. This is book.
Well, the issue number of that 31. We just saw was 44. So
yeah, I have up to issue 41. 44 issues, dude. And he's not like, you know, Todd McFarlane or anything. Like he doesn't have people. He's like just doing it himself.
Yeah.
And the design of the book is great. Like his layouts, like, and these are hand colored. Like these are like that's pretty fucking cool, man.
Honestly, I respect the dude for what he's done and what he's doing, but he's like on the level of Rob Liefeld to me.
Yeah, except he does everything by himself.
Yeah, I know. But when it comes to his art style,
I respect the grind. You know what I mean? I totally get what you're saying. Like there are panels in there and double page spreads in the books that are brilliant. Where I look at it and I'm like, the design is perfect, like next level shit. But I also see why you don't like it. And I think the reason, because I talked to him and like, you know, he's developed he wants to break the Kirby barrier, right? So the Kirby barrier is, I don't remember the specific number, but basically Jack Kirby was known to draw so much and so fast and not erase. Like he's famously quoted as, and he wasn't kidding when they were like, well, why don't you erase? Because he just draws a page out. And he was like, well, they don't pay me to erase, they pay me to draw. And so he didn't erase. Like he got to a point where he was just do it. I mean, I'm sure he didn't start that way, but the Kirby barrier is basically, he got to a point where he was drawing like 4 or 5 books a month. And so the Kirby barrier is being able to do that on a ongoing basis, like producing a book basically all the time. It's you know, it's very difficult. So he kind of wants to do that, I think. But look, if you were drawing in inking and coloring and lettering and pre-pressing and writing and publishing and sending the book out in 4 weeks, your art style is going to be pretty loose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not drawing like Jim Lee, or you're not drawing like McFarlane at that point.
Yeah, because that's a lot of work.
That's a god load of work. That's like that's why I respect him. Like that's fucking I couldn't do. I would challenge most people to do that with stick figures, let alone actually have a style. Like that's like God mode comics at that level. That's like, and I mean, even Dave Sim had someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did.
Avery.
Dave Sim, dude.
Avery goes there. Avery goes there.
What that guy turned out to be, though, it's like, oh, dude, come on.
I know. I respect the shit out of Michelle.
And thing is, though, he was flaunting it in the letter pages.
I don't know. I don't want to know. He's still a brilliant artist. He's just kind of weird, you know. And I mean, and fuck it, man. Love is love, so it's okay.
The FBI would care to disagree.
Oh man. So speaking of the FBI, should we show Andrew the Joker? So here's my challenge. I can't even. I'm gonna try. I want to say like, let's be adults about this, but like, this is just. Let's just remember the focus of the channel is fun and lightheartedness.
Sure. It's just, this is the kind of thing you would do if you wanted to mock these comics, not if you liked them.
So Andrew, I would like you to do me a favor. You are a very gifted orator. And so what I would like for you is I just have 2 panels. 2 panels. And I would just like you to read those panels.
I don't think I have a Joker voice, but I'll try.
Yes, and a Joker voice would be even better. If you can. Or if not, just Andrew voice would be great. Do you accept this challenge?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. What, you can't do a Mark Hamill? Oh God, to have Mark Hamill read that.
So I am going to read. So let me do this. Hold on. Let me go and do this it'll be easier for me to go from panel to panel. Okay. All right. I'm gonna make this big on my screen. And this will be big on my screen.
That's what she said.
Oh God. Okay. All right. It's Friday.
Or I'm sorry, in this case, that's what he said.
All right. Here we go. So commence with your narration skills, good sir.
All right, let me blow up my screen so I can. Well, what have we here? I think you're pregnant. I think you're right. Do we have a good OBGYN we use?
And then you ready for the next panel?
You ready? Ready as I'll ever be, Atomic Skull.
God.
You handled that very well.
Thank you.
So I'm not making this up.
Yes.
This is real. They gave Joker a son. I'm not making this up. He has a quote unquote mud baby.
Okay.
He has a mud baby, which in itself is disgusting, right? It's kind of weird, like a mud baby, and it takes the shape of a little child, and he adopts it.
So like did he get impregnated, so to speak, by Clayface?
Yeah. No, because that would make sense.
Actually, it would make sense.
That
if he
would
got,
make
if he
more
got,
sense.
if you know, a little prison action between him and Clayface when
That
we were
would
in
make.
Arkham,
I would accept that.
I would too. I
plausible
would accept
scenario.
that as lore because
That
we
has
got the
no problem with me.
because you
That
know the
actually makes
story
sense.
in the Batman cartoon, man, where you had the little girl that was actually a piece of Clayface, and I could totally buy that.
Yes. In the new Joker backup story this week, Joker, the man who stopped laughing. You want to know why he stopped laughing? Because he got pregnant and had a mud baby. That would make me stop laughing too. Life stops being funny when you give birth to a mud baby. I think. I could be wrong. It could be wrong. I'm not even going to list these fools. Zatanna runs into the Joker, who steals all the water from the Gotham River. Steals all the water. Zatanna runs into the Joker, who steals all the water from the Gotham River. Andrew, where do you put water that you steal from the river? If you were to steal a river, where would you put it?
On the moon.
Okay, fair. I doubt Joker put put all of the water from the Gotham River on the moon, but details are details. He stole all of the water. That was a thing that happened, apparently.
He lined up 1,000 elephants. They all went. And
again, even that would have some kind of ability to be shown as absolutely happening. But this did not. He just stole the water. So Joker tries to romance the magic user, Zatanna, but is knocked into the mud by Zatanna, who casts a spell that, quote, no one else will ever have your baby.
When exactly did that come up in the conversation between the Joker and Zatanna?
Hey, we got Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Excellent
Dusty, we have a request. KG would like to know your thoughts on this.
Yeah, my thoughts on this are that I have never been more confident in what we are doing here at Adult Fantasy.
I literally cheered. I was like, "This is awesome! We're gonna win!
We're gonna win!" Yes.
Like, this is the kind of thing I would think of as a joke to make fun of these comics. Not them should be actually putting in their comics.
But that makes sense. This is something we could do in like a Devoid book. This is not something you do for Batman.
No,
Joker is like their number one, the number one villain on planet Earth.
Yeah,
like it's the Michael Jordan. Let me just put this in before I read the rest of the article. Let me try to put this in like some kind of context. So at Cartoon Network, when Cartoon Network merged with Warner Brothers, I had the opportunity to animate Wile E. Coyote and Elmer Fudd. I think I got to touch Bugs Bunny a little bit. I got to do what was the Warner Brother Kids show? Tiny Toons. I got to do a bunch of Tiny Toon stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like in order to touch that shit, like the producers and the executives at Turner and Warner Brothers were like, you got to know your shit. Like, they're not just, I mean, this is like real stuff. You have to like be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, like, they're not just letting any Joe Schmo touch their intellectual property. You know what I mean? Like, they were super protective of it, as well they should be, right? Makes sense. So it was awesome to be able to do that. I actually felt really honored to do it. Of course I wish I had done more, but it was just a job that came through or whatever. But like, it was a lot of fun. And this would never happen, dude. This is not something that would ever fucking happen.
Yeah.
Like this is the amount of money that Joker by itself makes. Think of the movie that came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
How many billions of dollars has the Joker brought in to the company, right? So when I see this, honestly, like, it just tells me, like, I mean, political stuff aside, like, just as doing this to this character specifically, or to any top tier character,
he is a top tier character.
It's either an attack on the character, meaning like you're affecting the brand, which is you're affecting potentially hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, right? So that's a problem. Or you're doing this as a joke, right? Which, in regards to this character and to the company, is also a problem, right? It's different if you have a character like Devoid or Lobo or whatever that's kind of an over-exaggerated cartoon, right? That's like knocking heads off and punching puppies or what, just really hard. You're trying to make this character weird and crazy, and all of a sudden they give birth to a mud monster or something, and they're genetically not whatever. It's not something that they would normally do. That's fine. You can actually have a story about that, right? You actually can have kind of a weird offbeat story that kind of makes sense for the character. But to do that to basically the Michael Jordan of characters, like you're affecting the brand in a way that tells me that Warner Brothers or DC Comics or whoever, they're just not paying. They don't give a fuck. Like their hands are not on the wheel anymore. They do not understand or care about what they're doing. And there's no one high enough that was getting on the phone being like, what the hell did you just do? You just affected a multi-billion-dollar brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like it's funny, and we can laugh at how ridiculous it is, but this is a multi-billion-dollar brand, dude. Like there are not that many. Like it's like Luke Skywalker giving birth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can be a joke, but if this is canon. Oh, it's Elseworlds. It's a backup story. It's fucking canon. It matters to the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like they make Joker merchandise in half for as long as I've been alive. The Joker alone sells things.
It also has a lot of subtext that I'm not going to go into, but
Yeah.
it's not the kind of message you want to send, even if you support the cause. And I'll just be like that, like straight up. Oh, fuck it, I'll just say it. Like you think about the message you're sending, considering that you didn't do the message that you are creating and putting out there is tied and associated to a character who has murdered thousands and is a complete psychopath. Understand what message you're putting out there. So are you it ain't coming across the way you think it is. It's not funny, haha. Like you're failing on every corner. You know what I mean? Like there's no supporting, like there's no ability to be like, oh, this is awesome.
Hey, we got Fresh News 247 in the comments, getting a little spicy.
Oh, what's up? Loved the new Joker book. Fresh News, love the new Joker book. It isn't canon, you dimwit. What an idiot. Read the actual book, bruh. Well, whatever. Even an Elseworlds is still a canon for the Elseworlds, right?
I'm not going to go out and buy this trash to read it.
I'm not going to, no.
That's not
I'm going to
happening.
make one of it because it's like too weird.
Fresh. I'll just say this, man. I respect the opinion for sure. And like, that's what it is, right? From my perspective, like actually having like worked at Marvel and having worked with Stan Lee and actually having worked on these books, like I never worked for DC, so I've never worked on the Joker. I've never worked on Batman. But actually having been in the business and knowing the people and actually like produced books and comics and animation for 25 years, like what this is actually affecting the bottom line. It's affecting the character, it's affecting the fans, it's affecting the bottom line, it's affecting the company. And so I'm not saying that this isn't something that you could do. There are, and we've just brought it up, there are phenomenal Lobo stories from back in the 90s that were all about this. And I'm not just saying it has to be Lobo either, right? Like it can be a million different characters, but it's not going to have the effect you think it's going to have to the general population or to the people that like Batman.
Hey,
like,
Tom.
It's just not going to happen. What's up, Zach?
Hey, so my 2 cents for what it's worth. It may be that this happened because, quite frankly, the comics don't matter anymore. As far as the bigger brand goes, because
I've stopped buying them all.
Let's be honest. Most people who know the Joker, who know the who know Batman and so on, they're gonna know him from the video games. They're gonna know him from the movies and so on. It's the animated stuff that DC does, and that all tracks more closely with the traditional depiction of those characters. I mean, the comic books are kind of an afterthought nowadays. No, I mean, every month the readership goes down. really at this point, it's just guys like us, actual comic book nerds who really care about it.
Mhm.
Broader public, they would probably say, hey, wait a minute, they're still they're still making Batman comic books.
Yeah. No, maybe that's true. Fresh News has a good point. I want to actually share this. So Fresh News says it's a weak backup in the main title. It's a comic within the world of DC. You have no idea. The book isn't main event stuff. It's nothing in the mainstream. You guys are blowing it out of proportion. So I'll give you credit, man. Like, I definitely see the point, and I wouldn't say that we're blowing it out of proportion. Maybe. I mean, hey, man, touche. It's a possibility. I totally get that it's not in the main book and that it's not a backup story. Like, obviously, it's a backup story. But the fact that it's not a main event or a big event or whatever doesn't mean it's not mainstream. It absolutely is mainstream because Joker's a main character, and there are people. So I'll make it like this. Like, so when I was at Marvel, one of the main guys over at Marvel is a guy named Tom Brevoort. And Tom is an editor. He's a creator. He's done a lot. He's written books. I mean, this is a guy who's been in the business. Not to age the guy, but he was already a seasoned pro when I was like in high school. The guy is he's one of those guys that's an encyclopedia, right? He's like a human Wikipedia for Marvel Comics. And there were a couple of guys over there. There's another guy named Ben Morris, who's an awesome guy, just a gem of a human being. And the guy was an encyclopedia of Marvel. Like, he could quote, these guys could talk about a scene or talk about an issue or talking an event that happened across any of the different dimensions of Marvel, whether it was an Elseworld DC, but whatever the universe was of Marvel, and they could relate it, and they would know the issue number and what the event was and like the editor notes. They just had it in their head. It was I wish I had that skill, but I do not. But that's kind of my point, though, is like, it does matter. There are people out there that get their enjoyment from, I mean, it's the building of the lore and the creation of that universe. And so these things happen. Even if it's an Elseworld story or a multiverse story or a side pocket universe story or an alternate dimension story, it's still a story about the character, right? And all of these things have implications on, just from a marketing and branding standpoint, the actual brand of the character Joker, right? There are people now, because this guy, look, this, and this is also coming, and again, I can only speak from my own experience, Fresh News, but like, when I was at Marvel, like, you can't blame anybody for this, so this is not to shoot blame at anybody, but oftentimes storylines are created to get press, because that's basically all there is anymore. It's like trying to call your friend at USA Today and trying to get the story placed so that you can get some promotion, so that you can get the message out to buy a book, because comic sales are not what they used to be. And so, this got a lot of press. There's a lot of PR. You can Google it. I'm sure there's probably tons of stuff, but that's going to be out there for other people who may not have been in the world of Joker or Batman, who might get excited about the latest movie or something and then come back and they're like, wait, what the hell happened? So, Fresh News says, I don't know what you think this is. It isn't pro anti-male book or any sort of message. It was a comedy. Imagine you guys if Junior came out today. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, look,
we're just saying that it's a terrible idea and it's a terrible.
No, but I mean, look, Fresh News has a point, right? Like, again, I'm also not saying that our view or my view is like the only view, right? Like, I think so. If it's a comedy, totally cool, but it didn't hit me. I actually, again, because like, this shit is my life. Like, I see what damage they're potentially doing. But then again, I also think I would challenge you, Fresh News, that if it's a comedy, I would venture to say that there's a lot of people that would take offense to, and I'm not saying that's pro or con, right? Like, I'm just saying that there are other people who say it's not a comedy at all, and it's like groundbreaking for whatever reason. So again, I could be wrong. Like, I'm not here to judge. I don't really care. But I do think like, if you were going to do this, even as a comedy, There are probably better characters. Like I think it would be if you did again. I keep bringing up Lobo because he's like one of my favorite '90s characters. When Simon Bisley was drawing him, you did this to Lobo, and you had like I don't know Bisley or somebody else drawing him. I would have picked the book up. I would have picked the book up in a heartbeat.
See, then the joke's funny to me.
Right, because then it makes fucking sense. Because this is a guy who's super muscular, overtly masculine. Like the guy at the '90s Lobo is like the most overly testosterone fueled character you could possibly imagine. So having that character become pregnant and become a daddy to a mud baby is fucking funny to me, personally. Right? To do it to the Joker, like it's not. See, thank you, Avery.
Dude, that's hilarious. It's like,
we'll do it ourselves. It's fine. We'll make it into our own
content. Lobo being turned into a woman. Back when that happened, that is part of the inspiration for Devoid.
Yeah, and just for the record, I don't even see it as like pro anti-male. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't either. I just thought it was a garbage idea for Joker.
And I'm not, and of course it does have a message. Everything has a message nowadays, unfortunately. Pro and con, again, like this definitely has a message. I think to say that it doesn't have a message is to be a little off the mark. But I don't see it as pro anti-male. I don't see that. I do see it as a comedy. I do agree with you that I think they were trying to make it funny, but they were also trying to make a point. And I think because of that, it didn't really work. And that's just my opinion, right? Like, I don't know. I think they could have. I think there are ways that could have done it. I think it would have been funny. I mean, there could have been are there any other characters in the Batman universe? Like Scarecrow or Two-Face would have been fucking hilarious.
Guys,
yo,
I blame Guardians of the Galaxy for all of this.
Why? Guardians of the Galaxy is brilliant. The film
Guardian of the Galaxy first came out, when the first trailer hit, I looked at that trailer and went, oh God, they're going to make this movie stupid. Because it was a stupid trailer. And it was like, oh God, it's going to be stupid. There were stupid jokes, like the whole part about, I'm Star-Lord. And he goes, who? He goes, oh, come on, man, I'm Star-Lord. And I'm like, oh God, they're going to turn this into a stupid joke. But the movie came out. It was really stupid, but it was fun. And people loved it.
I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was brilliant. I really did.
Finish my statement. I thought it was great too. But then here's what happened. Hollywood said, especially Marvel said, okay, all of our movies from this point on have to follow the Guardians of the Galaxy template. They have to be stupid. They have to have stupid, funny scenes in it.
No, that's true.
That ruined Thor 3 and 4. I know everybody says Ragnarok was good. I was done with the stupid jokes at the very beginning of that stupid-ass movie. What happens is they do something, and it gets attention, and all of a sudden, everything has to go that way. This story, this little backup story that Fresh says, it was done in order to incite a small group of comic book diehard fans, and it was also done in order to make another small group of diehard comic book fans giddy as hell.
You think?
I swear to God, somebody's going to come into my store this weekend and say, hey, do you have that issue where the Joker gives birth to a baby? I'm fuck it. You know nothing about the story. You know nothing about the character. All you did is hear about it in the news, and somebody made a YouTube video.
So it's a collect. You're from a retailer standpoint. You think it's as because you have a comic shop.
It's a way to sell comics.
Sell comics and
it's a stupid ass way to sell comics. This issue is not going to be worth anything a year from now, 6 months from now, a month from now. But there's going to be people going into the store because they heard about it on YouTube or they read it in the comic news. Heaven forbid if it makes mainstream news. Oh, good God, if it makes mainstream news, that's all it is. It's
like
all
that,
about getting people into the store to buy a comic.
Like Death of Superman stuff.
Yeah, and guess what? This is going to happen again. They're going to do it again. And they're going to keep doing it in order to sell comics.
Well, I guess it depends on how many variant covers it has.
Yeah, well. But Galaxy Rider's right. Love the Guardians. It was great. But when I saw that first trailer, I went, oh God, no.
Well, the interesting thing is it didn't start in Guardians. It actually started at Thor number 1. The first Thor movie.
What?
Yep.
No, it did not.
It absolutely, dude.
Thor 1 did not have every single scene stupid.
No,
like Ragnarok.
Thor was the very Thor. What happened in Thor was the very first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie where they didn't have a lot to work with, and so what they did was they actually started to insert humor into it. They tried to make it a little funnier, and it pulled really well with people. I thought it was great. It pulled really well with people the audiences, and then they decided to turn it up with Guardians of the Galaxy, which came after. So it actually began. It was the success of Thor that moved them to move it in.
I thoroughly disagree with that.
I'm 100% certain of this.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy was silly from the get go, and that's the model that they took.
Yeah,
I blame Guardians of the Galaxy. But how many times?
Hey, what's up, MK? He says, I came in with a Zatanna Joker Kid article.
What's up, MK?
How many times has Hollywood or comics done something that became successful and all of a sudden everybody's doing it?
Oh,
do you remember Zombies?
Wait, say that. Sorry, I missed that. Say it one more time.
How many times has comics or Hollywood done something that became a success and all of a sudden everybody's doing it?
Oh, all the time.
You can name 1,000 different things. Zombies is one thing. Robert Kirkman put out The Walking Dead. It became a hit, and all of a sudden there's zombies everywhere. It's on every TV show. It's in every comics. They're making every Marvel zombies, DC zombies. Zombies were everywhere, and my God, they're still out there.
And now it's going to be mud babies. Everything.
It's going to be
all going to be mud babies.
It's going to be men getting pregnant.
Absolutely.
And giving birth to themselves.
KG says, first Iron Man movie is still my favorite. That movie was fantastic.
We're hitting the mud baby era of comics. It's just going to be in everything.
Guys, for all you Marvel guys out there, wasn't there like a storyline back? I think it was back in the 70s where it was one of the Fantastic Four, or one of the Avengers got turned into a tree and then gave birth.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that, but I remember Captain Marvel was
gave birth to a rapist or something.
Impregnated by.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. She was impregnated by some dude to get her to give birth to himself.
Yeah.
And apparently,
that was a weird story, man. It was a weird story.
Yeah, it was.
So
Galaxy says mud baby card, mud baby.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, it's not like this is the first time.
I'm saying this canonically will make sense if it's the result of some prison activity between him and Clayface.
That I love. I'll say this.
That would work.
I could not only could that work, because that actually could be. What if it was Clayface?
See, there you go.
That'd be even weirder, but it would work. I also think, or if like there were, and I'm not saying this to try to be funny, but like, or if there were other characters in the universe that had the same thing occur, so that it was like an actual storyline, because that actually could be weird, but it would be at least interesting.
That works.
Well, see, that's what I'm afraid of. The amount of attention that this silly, stupid one-off story is going to get is going to cause them.
I hope they do it.
Copycats.
I hope they do it, and I hope it's terrible.
Drew,
I just think it works. It works with certain characters. That's my point. It's like I'm not saying that it's like don't do it. Oh, whatever. And I just think doing it with like a multi-billion-dollar property, even as a joke. Like I'm just saying, like when I was there, like when I was working with Warner Brothers, it would never fucking happen. Never. Yeah. Like they had a lot. Those executives had a locked grip on every drawing you did. Like, I mean, I can only speak from personal experience, but like these things are literal for companies. These things are gold mines, and to taint that in any way, shape, or form would have been like I would have been fired. Like, no way. I mean, even let me tell you how extreme it was. Is like if I had done this drawing straight up, if I had done this drawing as a joke. And had it on my animation disc, and some executive walked by and saw it, I would have been fired. Like, forget it. It would have never happened because they take it so seriously because it's everyone's job.
Yeah.
It's everyone's job. Like, that's their job. If something happens and it gets out or it's taken in a wrong way, you also have to remember, like, a lot of these executives don't have backbones or balls. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to rock boats. Like, the writers don't care, or I should say they care. Maybe they care too much. But the executives and the producers and the people in like the C-suite, like do not give a shit. Like, they're there to kind of, you know, check the bottom line and make sure that they have a job tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's just very different. And it's not done even as a side story. It has impact, right? I mean, again, no one's talking about, and no one, I mean, proven point. Like, okay, it's a backup story. It's not main continuity. It's not main canon. It's Elseworld canon, or it's not even. Let's even give it the benefit of the doubt that it's not canon at all. What's the main story? What's the new? What's the anyone talk? Is anyone? I have not seen one article about the main story. It's this.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got a lot of press. So, you know, I think it has effect.
It does.
For good and bad, I guess. I mean, it does bring attention to the book. I just don't know if it's going to have the impact that people really want it to have, you know?
Well, you know, just let's look at it this way. Given that it's DC, if it does have a negative effect, that's what Christ, you know, mega.
They're going to reset their entire universe again in a couple of months.
Yeah,
they're in the process of doing it right now.
How many times have they rebooted their entire universe?
I don't know. However many times that they can add like some portentous word in front of the word crisis. So like Final Crisis,
Mud Baby Crisis and Infinite Mud Babies,
or crisis of we're creatively bankrupt, we're out of ideas, so we're just going to start over, and you know, please don't, and please just give us your money, you bastards. Crisis.
Yeah, MK says Lordy, too many resets.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they like it's been a lot lately, so it's kind of like, whoa.
I'm a DC newbie, to be straight. Like, I've always been way more Marvel than DC.
Well, you know, Marvel's not exactly free of that particular tan either. I mean, how many times has the Secret Wars come around?
Yeah, I understand. You know, every 20 years or so, you've got to retcon some things. You know, when the Fantastic Four started out, they were World War II vets. Then they're Vietnam vet buddies. Then, you know, they got to move it along to some fictional thing, and I get it.
Yeah, MK says. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Zach. Go for it.
But it's like every 2 or 3 years now, you know?
Yeah. It feels that way. It feels like every couple years it's a total reboot of the DC universe.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more time there than what I realize because I'm getting old. So time's different.
Well, you know, back in my day.
MK says they're already doing a cash grab with a DC NFT. Those comic drops are pulling bank.
Wow.
Are they selling? I know the drop, but I haven't been keeping track of them. MK, are they actually like selling through? I mean, I'm sure they are. Like they're selling out pretty well. I'd be curious to know. Although also, I mean, this is getting off topic from nerd stuff, but Vivi has a problem with the Wire company shutting down. So what was it, Dusty? Wire's
Yeah, I'm not super clear on it. I know that the Wire's pulling back a little bit. They say they're not closing down, but then they've also halted all payment processing for Vivi.
What's Wire?
It's one of the options for buying crypto with your credit card, and I think also taking your crypto and turning it back into cash. So it's excellent for platforms like Vivi that want to accept your credit card.
That cover is awesome.
I think this is the cover to the issue.
That's a good cover. See, that looks like Joker being eaten by like
Clayface.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Is that where the baby happened?
I have no idea. Probably not.
I really don't want to know.
MK says that the comic drops are selling out in hours.
Oh wow!
Every drop.
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
cover's good.
Yeah, that Joker cover's dope. Who did the cover? Is that a Joe Quesada cover? No.
That no.
This
I'm just
hamster
looking.
looked
These are the alternate covers for this issue. I was checking to see if there was anything with a baby in it. Is that Crazy Uncle Bill?
It is. It looks like it. Or is that Jock? No. That looks like Bill Sienkiewicz's.
Dustin Nguyen.
Oh, nice. How many alternate cover? How many variants does it have?
Well, Lee Beramo.
Bermejo, yeah.
Yeah.
Bermejo. He's a crazy detailed artist.
That one's creepy.
Yeah, that's cool. The covers don't have anything to do with the book, do they?
Not always. It's the 90s fad cover where they did the embossing.
Bring in the Hulk cover.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
disturbing.
go back. Is that that's not Glenn Fabry, is it?
No, that's probably the Lee Beramo or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, okay. He did a couple covers.
He's doing the alternate covers.
That's disturbing in so many ways. If you know anything about what Joker and Robin.
Yep. It's very disturbing. This is the Batman Spawn variant.
That's a cool. Who drew that one? Tony Daniel? No.
Maybe.
No. That's a great cover. I like that one.
I can't tell by the signature.
Okay. Who did that one cover? Go check it out.
Yeah, Tony Daniels. Spawn.
Boom.
Yeah. Good guess, Todd. Good guess.
Hey man, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's got 4 issues out, and there's 30 what was it? 38? 28? 23
Covers?
different covers.
23 different variant covers?
For 4 issues, yes.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
We need to kick it up a notch, guys. Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. MK is like, I can't believe I landed it now. It's pretty funny. Oh man. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about how those DC drops are going, or if people are really liking them. I guess they are if they're selling out. Are they just? I think they're just you get the comic and you get like a PDF or something, right? Like a link, like an unlock code to get the comic.
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. They're good.
Are these DC NFTs?
Yeah, DC partnered with Palm Tech to drop DC comic NFTs, I believe. MK says it's just a comic unlock. But MK, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that the original, I don't know what they're dropping right now, but I know they started with like Action Comics #1 and all that stuff. So they're dropping like classic shit to drum up interest in it.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's not bad at all. He says it's all over the place. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I mean, it's a very smart idea. I think it's a really, really smart way to go.
bless you.
Thanks.
Oh man, what else we got going on, guys? Any watching anything? Doing anything?
You ruined my whole night. Ruined my whole night.
I started rewatching Babylon 5.
I've tried that, but I can never get past like season 2 or 3. It's just the storyline's good, but
the first season's the hard one for me to make it through.
Yeah, because there's really nothing. Well, look. I mean, Babylon 5. I love that show back in the 90s when I was watching it.
Oh yeah.
But you look at it now and it's sort of aged well, but there's a lot of faces on. I mean, did you know, for example, that Salma Hayek wasn't in an episode of that?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
There were a bunch of them, and but that the thing was that show actually was a bit ahead of its time because it wasn't like episodic. They were doing what Star Trek DS9 was trying to do, which is like have an overarching storyline, multi-season storyline. I mean,
oh yeah, there's things in the first episode you don't find, you don't realize what it's alluding to till 5 years later or 4 years.
MK, really quick, I'm gonna jump in. MK says, yeah, the DC comic drop is all over the place. Poison Ivy, Harley, Batman. He says, as a capitalist, I admire them for taking all the existing comics they had and making extra bank on every single one of them. As a fan, it's really irritating me. Yeah, I mean, what would make the most sense as a fan myself, again, not just a fan of comics, not necessarily DC, but like what would make sense to me is if they like tied the NFT to their weekly drops, right? Like, hey, we've got 50 titles dropping this week, so let's drop the NFT to it, and you're getting both. Even if it'd be awesome if there was like because they do this all the time. It was like they used to do it all the time for digital comics, right? Hey, here's the code in the book, scan the code and get the free digital comic or whatever. It'd be cool if they did that as well, or something similar for NFTs for their recent releases. But I also understand it because the recent releases don't sell. Like, the Batman having his back broke by Bane as a classic issue is going to sell as a first time in NFT. Like, that's going to sell way more than I don't know, Birds of Prey 56 or Catwoman 34 or whatever. It's not gonna. It's just not gonna catch as hard.
Yeah, if I was buying these DC NFTs, I would be like, oh, they're releasing the Dark Knight Returns. Okay, I'm gonna buy that. I'm not gonna buy whatever the new issue of Batman is.
Right, and that's what they're doing, right? They're gonna use. They know what books sell and they know what's popular. So you're gonna get the Watchmen limited series soon. You know what I mean? It'll be Watchmen will be in very limited quantities or something. And again, it makes sense. I just it is a little. It does feel a little cash grabby. You should get something else for it too. I don't know.
Cash grabby.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but yeah, it's like, man, okay, well, give me something else. Like, what if it was like free access to, like, don't they still have like, again, I'm not a DC guy, but like the Dome or whatever it is, like the DC Universe website stuff.
Oh yeah, their online stuff.
Yeah.
You can read. Oh sure.
Like all the DC Universe stuff, like give us some access to that, or 3 months free for onboard people. I mean, yeah, you're still potentially eventually selling them a subscription or something, but give them something else other than just like, look, it's the digital version of that thing you have 6 copies of. You've got the issues, you've got the trade paperback, you've got the hardbound and the absolute edition, but do you have the NFT?
I feel attacked by that. I feel personally because there are literally books that's like, yes, I have the issues, yes, I have the trade, yes, I have the hardback. God damn it!
He realizes you're talking about him.
Yeah, it's like
Don't. Hey, look, I mean, the reason I these are all upgrades. Like, oh, look, I've got the Daredevil, the Chris Samnee Daredevil trades. You know why I have them? It's because I bought the comics and then had the floppy, the paper trade, and then I was like, shit, I need this in hardback.
Yeah.
Right. MK says nuked. He said, yeah, it's been stripped down. I love the DC Universe as it dropped with Titans and Doom Patrol along with Comic Library. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And rugged. You got rugged. Tell me about that. I don't know about that at all.
Well, didn't they merge all that with HBO Max?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, what happened was
All the TV and movie content went over to HBO Max. I don't think the comics.
Oh,
stuff
that's smooth. That's what he means by rugged, because it got pulled. Everything got pulled off.
I think I still have that app on my phone somewhere. They had all the shows there, but it was moved to HBO Max. But the guy who owns HBO Max now, what's his name, Zasley or something like that, Zaslav. Well, basically, all those shows are currently being canceled. A lot of the DC live action shows, they're all being shut down one by one because they're trying to save money. So,
I actually like Doom Patrol.
Yeah, I think
we like Doom Patrol too.
I think Doom Patrol got the axe. I know.
There is still another season coming, though. They've been.
They've already made it, but
yeah.
I know, like all the stuff in the WB is getting axed.
Yeah, I hate all that stuff.
Yeah.
Except for the specific actor who plays Constantine.
Yeah, I really wish
actually fits.
I really wish they used him in the Sandman on Netflix but I think the reason why they couldn't is because it was either a rights issue or a scheduling conflict. That's why they had to, that's why they went with the actress instead. At least that's what I heard. But
yeah, MK says they dropped it all, sold TV to HBO, and then said Constantine for the win.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Constantine. Is it good? Is it good?
The actor fits. If you took that actor,
Matt Davies, and
put him on an HBO show where he could use the kind of language that we're used to John using, and behave the way he would fit.
Because Constantine is a dark. I mean, at least the stories that I used to read, like the phase that I was reading Constantine, like it was a dark fucking book, dude.
Yeah, it could be kind of weird.
Hellblazer? The old Hellblazer.
Yeah, Hellblazer.
Yeah, the Hellblazer stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't there a rumor that they're going to make a Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves?
True. Yeah. You know what? I think that's a decent movie, but it's not John Constantine.
No. Yeah, well, Keanu Reeves has a lot more star power.
Yes.
Now,
but if you took that movie, set it in the UK and cast that actor from the TV show, that'd be pretty good.
It wouldn't do box office like Keanu Reeves would.
True.
So
true. I like Keanu Reeves in some things. Heck, there's a movie I think he's awful in, but I still love the movie.
Yeah. Which one's that?
Bram Stoker's Dracula. He's terrible.
The whole movie's awesome. Please.
That movie is wonderful. He in that movie is awful.
He's not the only awful thing in that movie, but the movie altogether is fantastic.
I can't not like that movie only because of Mike Mignola's adaptation is one of the best of all time.
But Gary Oldman's Dracula is really good.
Yeah. Yep. MK says the animated ones are awesome for Constantine, and he said it was a dark AF.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're not too bad.
Yep.
Where do I have I've got the Mike Mignola. I think Andrew gave me the Mike Mignola.
The thing about that I think I liked about Hellblazer back in the 90s and the 80s and 90s is that it started out as part of the of the main DC canon, but then kind of it was never explicitly stated, but it kind of drifted away from it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they kept like Zatanna was always a part of it, so I guess she was kind of the link, but it was largely
Hellblazer was just like Sandman and Swamp Thing and Animal Man. They started out as being part of the DC universe and then became branded as Vertigo. Yeah, and then became their own things.
I mean, the thing is, but what happened was that I think it was with the New 52, although it might have been earlier. They started doing something called Justice League Dark, and they basically brought Constantine back into the main canon. I'm just really, and then they did the same thing like
I didn't read any of that.
I tried to get. I really did get into the new 52 for a while when it first came out because I was just getting back into comics and it seemed like a good access point. But I mean, the art was good, but there was just.
I love the Sean Phillips issues of Hellblazer.
Well,
I like the Steve Dillon stuff.
I mean, look, they brought Watchmen into the main DC continuity with Doomsday Clock, which actually was not that bad. Although, again, people are constantly asking why, why do this? And of course, one of the reasons why they had to do it was they had to explain why they were had to explain why they were nuking the New 52 for whatever they're calling them now for Rebirth, whatever.
Wait, is the just because I'm not a DC guy, is the New 52 the series that came out with when Keith Giffen did all of the layouts for the entire fucking run?
I don't know.
No, that was 52, the weekly series. New 52 was the relaunch that was done before Rebirth.
It was around 2012.
Yeah, and the only standout from that entire series of 52 issues was Jim Lee doing Justice League.
And that was a series where Superman lost his red underwear. So that's when he started wearing like
yeah, they did two different Supermans. They did two different Supermans. There was a modern Superman and a kind of like a Superboy Superman that was going on at the same time.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, Action Comics was him wearing like a fake cape and running around with a T-shirt, and Superman was Superman. And then at the same time, they did Superman and Lois, which were the original from prior to New 52. What they did is they said the two of them went off to go live their lives, and that's when Jonathan came around. They had
no. I think that was actually after New 52.
Well, yeah, it was, but the comics of that was outside of the New 52, happening at the same time as the New 52.
Well,
the idea was that the Superman from the New 52 is not the one we're familiar with.
Yeah. So what happened was DC did this thing called Flashpoint, where basically the Flash tried to change the world so that his mother wasn't killed, and he ended up basically creating hell on Earth, and through a bunch of shenanigans ended up basically rebooting the entire DC universe, which basically wiped out the old continuity and led to New 52, which was supposed to be a complete clean slate. The first issues of Justice League were, basically Darkseid invades Earth, and that's how Superman, Batman, all the others meet up and become friends.
And that was all Jim Lee stuff.
Yeah, the art was beautiful in that one. That was all Jim Lee. It worked for a while, and the thing is, the problem is they had it was called New 52 because they had 52 books.
Yep.
But some of them sold well. So some of them were rebooted characters. There were some new characters actually. But a lot of the books didn't really sell well. They had continuity issues because it was 52 books across a shared universe. It's
I didn't buy any of it.
Oh, I bought most of them when they first started, but I did not keep up with all of them. So
I think I bought the Jim Lee Superman because I found it for $6, the hardback.
That was before the New 52.
Well, I can't tell the difference. How you doing, man? Welcome, brother.
I can't tell the difference between any of it. It's all convergence to me. I don't know the difference.
Yeah, no. Well, the problem is that you had the problem is that there was they have these massive multi-comic storylines, and you have to buy comics from in order to find out what was happening with the Justice League. You'd have to buy issues from Lobo, Justice League Dark, and a bunch of other comics that you really didn't care about, just to find out what was happening to Superman. And it just got to be they got to a point where I don't know, where I was dropping $20-$30 a month on comics, and I was not $23 a week on comics sometimes. I couldn't afford at that time, so I just kind of backed away. And then eventually, what they did was they basically nuked the New 52 because it really wasn't working, and that's how you got the old continuity back. I think the idea they had, and then what they explained how it worked was that they did something called Doomsday Clock, which was
Doomsday Clock. I collected a little bit.
I bought some of those because I like the art, but I lost interest and stopped caring.
It was just a good idea. It was just too slow paced. Yeah. Basically, the short answer is why is the DC universe messed up? Dr. Manhattan did it. So and then
MK really quick. MK says, "Yep, there was a sweet poster to drop. Jeff Johns swore he would get more involved. Sales and continuity sucked.
Yeah, Jeff Johns was involved in that, as I remember. Yeah.
And Jeff Johns is a good writer, but
the problem is that at that time that's when DC was trying to get their get the DC cinematic universe up and running because they saw what Marvel was doing and they realized they were way behind. So I think Jeff Johns was the one they tapped to run that, and so basically, his time was split, and obviously the movies had to take precedence because that's where the money was.
Yeah.
It also explains why those movies just didn't work because they were trying to do in like 1 or 2 movies what Marvel had done in like 7 or 8, and it just didn't really work.
He says, MK says, if I recall, it was his idea to use the Dr. Manhattan storyline. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, the New 52 was DC's relaunch that fizzled, and then they relaunched everything again with Rebirth. But one of the things they did right with Rebirth is they went back to the original numbering for Action Comics and Detective Comics, and they eventually went back to the original numbering on titles such as Flash and Wonder Woman, and
that was the whole. That was, I mean, I'll never
Marvel
forget.
constantly relaunching their titles with new number ones. Frickin' sucks.
It destroyed them,
and people hate it.
That was the whole thing. They were doing it because new number ones would sell, and then they turned everything. They do what they always do, and they make everything a number one. They go overboard, and then because everything was number one, nothing was special, and they just kept doing limited series. And then they had a problem with the stories themselves because every issue number 3, you've got all this stuff happening, right? Or all these references, and people are like, "What happened? I collected issue 1 and 2, and it's not in there." And they're like, "Oh, well, that happened in Superman number 572 or whatever." And it's like, but this is Superman number 3. Like, it was all messed up. And like, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget like Todd McFarlane taking the biggest motherfucking victory lap over this because, and he was right. He was dead on. He was like, why on earth would you give up that number? Because there is no shortcut to like 500 issues. There's no shortcut. Like, it's a monthly book for 500 months. There's no way to get there other than by 1 page a day for 500 months or whatever the number is, 1,000, right? Action Comics 1,000 or whatever. There's no way around it. You can't cheat. And so like he was celebrating. He was like popping champagne through those years when like they destroyed their continuity by going to number 1 because he was just like stacking numbers, and he was like, you screw up the continuity so bad because there are now like how many hundreds of Batman titles or Superman titles or Spider-Man titles or whatever that all are issue number 1 through 6, and there's no Spider-Man, there's no main thing. So when you need to go reference like, oh, what happened, you have no idea where to go.
Yeah, it's very
clue.
It's very difficult for a retailer to have somebody come in and say, "Hey, I'm looking for some Spider-Man issues," and you show them, "Well, I have issues 1, 2, and 3, but this is from a different series. This one is from a totally different series. This one is from a different, completely different." So they're issues 1, 2, and 3, but they have nothing in common with each other, other than the fact Spider-Man, and it may not even be the same Spider-Man.
Right. Which Spider-Man from which dimension, from which timeline?
Right. It's very difficult, but you know what?
How do you guys? I have a question for you about that. That just got me curious about something. But MK says you punish the old collectors. Yeah, very true, man. Very true. Because we know the history, or at least we kind of remember the history. You know what I mean? Like it becomes very difficult. And we were the ones that collect the records. It's like a band releasing like 5 or 10 albums, and you collect every single band EP and album, and then all of a sudden it's the same exact band, but they start releasing It's the same exact band with the same style of music, but they start releasing under different like band names.
I have no idea what reference you're giving. I don't collect music. So.
It's just weird. Well, it doesn't happen because it's stupid.
Band music. What the hell are you talking about?
Rock, anything like it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, like what? So what do you guys feel? Do you guys like multi-dimensional, time traveling, timey-wimey stories, or is it bullshit?
I like good art.
You don't care about the story?
Nope. If it's good art, story's always second to me.
Coming from the guy who is like the number one, like Mr. Writer, both you and Zach are like the best writers I know.
Guys, you saw the art for that issue of the Joker? That frickin' sucked. There was nothing redeeming about that art whatsoever. Sorry, there wasn't. Now, if they had gotten John, what's his name? Brian Bolton, whatever, to draw that backup series,
yeah,
maybe I would care. But they didn't.
I would, to be fair, I would probably pay if Brian Bolin drew Joker pregnant. I would probably buy that.
I probably would have bought that too.
You're not wrong.
Tell you the truth.
Well,
I mean, I probably would have waited for it was in the 50-cent bin, but I still would have bought it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've bought issues of X-Men in which Art Adams did the backup story of the X babies,
Oh God, the X babies were hysterical.
Is a stupid thing, but
it was stupid, but I loved it.
It looked great, Oh well.
What would this is what MK says. What would Brian Boitano do?
Isn't he dead?
What would Brian Boitano do?
Isn't he dead?
It's a South Park joke.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you think about multiverse, dimensional time travel, Zach?
It really depends on the story.
Yeah, it can get overplayed quick.
I mean, if it's a comic book. Well, honestly, I mean, look, one of the problems I have with American comics in general, and this is just a private gripe of mine, is I'm not a big fan of shared universes, because they're just they're just too difficult to maintain, especially if they get big. I mean, something to remember about like the original Marvel multi-universe, back in the 60s when Stan Lee was doing it, is that there's only about 7 or 8 books. So it was easy to keep everything on track, and of course everyone was working in one spot, so you could physically talk to the guy. But when you're doing like 50 or 60 books, a series at once, it just it limits the creativity, because you have to keep continuity in mind for the entire universe. So you can't multi-dimensional time travel. It has to be planned, for something like that. You got to really plan. I think you really have to plan it out, because if you get it wrong, you could end up snarling shit up for dozens of books. I mean, one of the reasons why DC's had so many reboots and crises is because they have to keep cleaning up their continuity. And even for example, the Hawkman continuity. Hawkman is an example of a DC book that even after Crisis on Infinite Earths was still messed up. It took a decade. It literally took 10 years to get to untangle that particular knot and get it back to something resembling sanity. So I mean, I think if it's like a separate one-shot issue that has no bearing on any other story anywhere, yeah, go for it. Just don't just get good art and don't make it suck. But if it's in your main continuity, I think it would only really work if you could really plan ahead. And again, you're going to be bound by the limitations of the broader continuity. I mean, honestly, I think at this point the whole multiverse, multi-character shared universe thing is actually a hindrance on American comics, because it makes it very difficult for new readers to get into it. And it's also off-putting, because they're told, wait a minute, I just want to read Superman, but now or I just want to read the Justice League, but now you're telling me I got to buy a book from this other hero that I know nothing about, I don't really care about. just to find out what happens to the guy in the comic I do like. I mean, I know it's a way to get new readers for those titles, but sometimes it just really seems like it seems like kind of a very blatant money grab for what's often a very substandard comic. Sorry, rant is over.
No, you make a good point. You make a good point, man.
Well, that was crossovers.
Yeah, but
That's not...
yeah, no, I just think that, you know.
Or you could have characters like Bishop, Cable, and Rachel, all from different alternate timelines in the future of X-Men.
Well, yeah, and you remember how
Rachel still ended up in Cable's alternate dimension.
And you know how snarled up. Remember how snarled up that got at the end. And I mean, just like I'm having flashbacks of the Spider-Man clone saga right now.
Yeah, well, those were clones.
Yeah, I know.
Those weren't alternate dimension Spider-Mans. Those were clones.
Yeah, well.
You know what makes me happy?
What?
When I sit back and I think about the Thing teaming up with the Hulk, written and drawn by Bernie Wrightson as an original graphic novel. When I think about that very first issue of Excalibur, The Sword is Drawn, written by Chris Claremont with art by Alan Davis and Paul Neary. When I think about some of the absolutely fantastic stories and art that has come out in comics, you got Days of Future Present with Chris Claremont and John Byrne. You've got what was the one with George Perez doing, Peter David and George Perez doing the Hulk, Future Imperfect. You've got, Brayfogle working on Detective Comics. You've got Dan Jurgens and Kevin Nolan doing Superman versus Aliens. You've got Chris Warner doing the first Predator series from Dark Horse Comics. There are so many freaking awesome stories and art out there that you could spend a lifetime collecting them and enjoying them, that this shit that they're putting out now, fuck it.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care. Yeah,
exactly. I don't either. I just buy older stuff,
and I can't believe we spent this much time talking about that. Whatever it is they did, whatever.
Mud Baby.
Andrew.
Well, it segued from what you were talking about earlier with the dangler.
Oh no, we're not moving back to that. Jeez.
I mean, look,
there was a shoe involved in the story too, by the way.
It's not good.
I mean, look, my favorite comic book of all time was Savage Sword of Conan. So, I kind of look at this whole thing from like a sort of an arm's length point of view, because I'm not a big superhero fan. In the end, I mean, I like Superman, but that's really it. Superman and Conan the Barbarian.
I loved all the X-Men books in the late 80s, early 90s.
Well, those two. I mean,
I loved them.
They were just, the plots were just so soapy, and that's like it was like a giant soap opera with spandex and claws.
We're gonna have to cover John Byrne's fan his fan book that he's been doing for like the last 5 years. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Okay. We're not gonna do it tonight because it'll take the whole time. We'll do it maybe next Friday. And this is something that I'm gonna make, and I'm gonna maybe like send out as gifts one day. But like so you guys know, I mean, I know Dusty doesn't, but you guys know John Byrne. So John Byrne is known for being kind of a crusty old bastard, right? Fair enough.
Yeah, I can relate.
He was so upset to this day. So basically, and I don't know the full story, but basically the deal is like he really takes issue with Chris Claremont back in the day, to the point where he felt like he was more of the writer than Chris Claremont was, and like X-Men were his characters. He really took ownership of his characters. And so he took offense to like a lot of the stuff Chris Claremont did. Of course, Chris Claremont's run is like revered as the best X-Men run ever made, but whatever. So what he's been doing for the last several years is he like, and there was a big kerfuffle about how he left the book. Like he basically like I don't know, Chris Claremont kicked him off, or I don't know. There's something there, but basically what he's done is John Byrne has been redrawing Uncanny X-Men from his whole run and beyond. Like basically his version of what happened and the X-Men. And it's literally, I mean, and so the deal is like, this is how crazy he is. Auteur, like, because he can't sell it because it's the X-Men. It's a fan book, right? He can draw it and he can give it away for free, but he can't sell it because that would be illegal. Yeah. So he's just drawing the X-Men. He's like 30 or 40 issues in, and he's just drawing the X-Men. So it's like, you want the X-Men, like his book, you got it. And so it's really, I have a link somewhere. I'll have to find it. We'll start looking.
So basically, it's his version without Chris Claremont's writing.
It is Uncanny X-Men, John Byrne, no Chris Claremont.
Yeah, those two.
It's his revenge. And remember, he didn't draw that book for like 30 years. Like he's been holding a grudge for like a quarter of a century.
He hated Image too when it started, right? He
hated
McFarlane. He hated McFarlane and all those guys.
Yeah, I've never met him, so I don't know. But the rumor is that he's a very difficult human being.
Sounds like a crotchety old man.
Yeah, he's a hard person apparently. But still, like who does 40 books, let alone 4? Like,
Steve Ditko's still kicking around, so
Steve Ditko's dead.
I thought he was still alive.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I think he died.
I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, he might be kicking around, but not.
I could have swore he died last year.
Not of his own free will.
I could have swore he died last year or the year before. Or am I wrong?
Yep, yeah, he died. Yeah, he died in 2018.
I mean, I'm still all for. Hey, okay, so new adult fantasy canon. Steve Ditko is just wandering around.
That's not bad.
We need to make shirts. I have an idea for shirts. It's something like, those. I think they started with the British shirts, like Ringo and Paul and George and those shirts. Whatever. It's like this person and that person. We need like Kirby and Ditko and Miller and Butterworth. Just to do it. Claremont and Bendis and I don't know, some more writers and Zach.
Hey, what's up, Pipe?
What's up, Pipe? How you doing? Welcome. Well, Happy New Year. 2023. We're still talking about the same shit. Woo!
We are still here.
So we actually changed our Twitter handle on Twitter for a minute. I think we changed.
Not the handle. The
byline. It said, because we were joking about it, and then someone else joked about it, and then we were like, wow, like multiple people thought the same thing, so we decided we should implement it. It said for a minute it said adult fantasy. Yep, we're still here. Oh man, it's like, all right, that sounds good to me. Yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah, I don't know. I said this before, but I really feel like I need another like month off. I've made the mistake of working pretty much throughout the entire break on this stuff. MK says, night guys, great chat. Makes for an excellent start to the weekend. Awesome, MK. Love hearing you say that. Have a great weekend, my friend. KG says a bunch of jokes.
Bye, MK. Take care.
And we all have mud babies.
We all have mud babies. I'm telling you, like, yep, we're still here is pretty good, man. Like, it's so dumb, but at the same time, you're like in the NFT space. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most legit thing you can possibly say is like, yeah, we're still here.
Yeah,
we've outlasted a lot.
That's right. That's right. We outlasted FTX. So what? Lasting longer than $30 billion companies, bro. What's up? When Lambo?
Oh God.
Hype says sometimes you need a vacation from the vacation. This is true, man. I really feel it. Like I did take some time off, but then like that break, the last week or two of December is always my time to personally it's always my time to like get ready for the next year. So we had like 10-hour meetings. Like Dusty and I were, I mean, for multiple days had I mean, the whole team did, but Dusty and I especially had like marathon sessions. And then, I'm cleaning out my Trello. I'm do inbox 0 for emails. I'm like cleaning out my desktop. Like I really try to like clean it all, organize everything, got Notion all organized, and then I'm ready for the new year. The only problem is that it takes me like 2 weeks. And so then when it's like January, it feels like I didn't really take a break.
Well, I remember back in October, you were like, the entire team's going to take the last week off. We're just not going to do anything.
Well,
And then
I mean,
you and I did about 100 hours of meetings that week.
but it was like a vacation, right, Dusty?
It was fun.
It was fun. We had fun. It was, it's interesting. You're like, oh yeah, we're going to plan for the next year. And so you sit down and you start working on it and you're like, well, this won't take that long. We kind of know what we're going to do. And we've been talking about it all year. So we were like, okay, we're going to have some stuff. And then you sit down to plan it out. And it's like several days of workshopping to structure it and get it ready, and you're just like, man, I don't know. I always feel like, and I don't know if other teams feel, I'm sure other teams are the same way where, it never like it, it's obviously when it comes out, it obviously comes out in specific times. So it should feel like it's been planned, but it always feels somewhat spontaneous. Like, oh my God, this is on the calendar. We got to do this. But yeah, we're gonna do a on Monday. We're gonna do a peep show, so an adult fantasy peep show. So peep show is the behind the scenes town hall AMA for like the coming quarter.
Good, because those 4 words, adult fantasy peep show, raise all kinds of unpleasant connotations.
Yeah. Or it could just be Andrew eating those Dr. Pepper peeps.
I was going to say, Andrew's going to be doing a peep show too soon.
We need to do
another title Todd stole from me.
I did. I stole it from you. I did. It's true. Do you have it? Or are you going to do? Do you want to do a peep show, Andrew? Would that make you feel better? You want to do a peep show?
Yeah, I'll be doing a peep show on my channel.
On the Misfit Corner scams?
No, probably not.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Dude, he would lose. Like, he's done so much work, like, building that following. He would lose all 3,000 of them.
Well, all the original Peep Show videos are still on that channel. I don't think I've unlisted them yet. So,
well, they're classic.
Yeah.
It's just Andrew eating peeps and me and Todd retching.
Hype TV says that's some SEO. Dr. Funk says, I'm already not wearing pants. Does that count? Doc, man, I love it, dude.
Doc, neither am I.
I don't even know what to say. Oh man, awesome guys. Well, should we wrap? What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. We'll talk for another 45 minutes in the green room anyway.
Probably.
Dr. Funk says hot. That is hot, Doc. That's hot. Yeah, we gotta get Doc back on video, man. We gotta get him. We gotta do some streams. We're gonna be doing some. So I'll give a tease. Monday, we've got some events coming up in the summer, possibly. We've got that I can't talk about, but I will a little bit later. We're thinking about doing some gaming events. I think towards the end of the year, we ended up doing one with Gripner, the Glimmering. They're running like a D&D 5th edition, and that was a lot of fun. And you know, we've been, once you guys see the World Bible outline, I think you guys will see exactly where we've been heading for quite a while. So we're going to be probably running some games soon in our own universe, but we'll talk more about that later. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm excited, and man, it's gonna be a good year. So awesome. Dr. Funk says anytime, fellas. Hell yeah, bro. All right, guys. Well, we love you. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us on a Friday, the very first Friday of 2023. Man, I think it's gonna be a good year. I really do. I think it might be a hard year. I think everybody recognizes it's going to be a little bit of a difficult year, but it doesn't mean we can't make the most out of it and have fun and laugh.
And it's going to be rewarding, though. It's going to be
really enjoy it. Yeah. KG says, "See ya. What's up? See ya, boys." KG, see you, sir. Have a great weekend. Galaxy, good night. Have a good weekend, everyone. Galaxy, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you, and thank you so much for hanging out with us and the games the other night. That was hilarious. You know, you just gotta play Discord mini golf all the time, and then you get better. It's one of those things. But that was a lot of fun. So we'll see you soon. Hype, thank you so much for showing up. Hype, we got to get together. I'll DM you. We got to hook it up, and I want to catch up and see how you're doing and see how everything is. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Peace out. God bless. Take care of each other.